So look, guys, there's more bad news this morning. Well, it depends on your perspective, really. So the news this morning about pensions, I think, is a little bit more plausible than the news that was going around, the speculation that was going around earlier this week that the government were thinking about means testing state pensions. I think that's quite a highly unlikely thing to occur. However, this one this morning feels like a little bit more realistic to me. So this is about pension tax relief. So anyone who watches this channel know I'm a big fan of encouraging people to salary sacrifice, i.e. to join their company pension schemes and pay whatever they can into their company pension schemes because it's very tax efficient. Now, I also say if you can't access a company pension scheme that allows you to pay more than the basic amount in, then a self-invested personal pension, a SIP, might be a good way of getting that extra tax back. And the tax depends on your level of earnings. So if you're a basic rate taxpayer, you'll be getting 20% back on your pensions tax relief. A high rate taxpayer, you'll be getting 40% back, and an additional rate taxpayer, you'll be getting 45% back. Now, they are great numbers, to be fair, but the new speculation is that this may be moved to a single flat rate. So rather than having 20, 40, 45, it'll be a single flat rate. And that flat rate, the number that's being bandied around is 30%. Okay, so that means if you're a standard rate taxpayer, you'd actually be benefiting here. So rather than getting 20% tax back on everything you put into a pension, you'd be getting 30% back, which would be a significant amount. However, if you're a 40 or a 45% tax rate payer, then obviously you'd be losing 10 or 15% of that tax relief, which is a fair amount, really. So my first thought on this would be, well, surely that'll cost more, because I know a lot of people in this country are in the basic rate of tax, but it doesn't work out like that. Have a look at this chart. So we can see here that more than 60% goes on higher rate and additional rate taxpayers. That's because people who do have higher levels of income tend to invest more in their pensions. They've got more free cash, as it were, to be able to invest in pensions. Now, this, although it does seem quite plausible, this will be difficult, I think, for one particular reason, and that's to do with defined benefit scheme pensions. So we know that there's two types of pensions, really. There's defined benefits, where you pay an amount in each month, and then you get a promised amount at the end when you retire, which is usually a percentage of what you've earned. Or then the second type is a defined contribution pension, where you will put an amount in, which is specified, but you don't know what you're going to get out the other end. You know what you're going to put in, but you don't know what you're going to get out the other end. Now, the defined benefit type schemes are really popular in the public sector. So this would impact the public sector quite a lot. Almost half of the money that goes into pensions goes into defined benefit public sector scheme pensions. Now, does the Chancellor, a Labour Chancellor, really want to go to war with public sector unions again at this point? I'm not sure that's something that would be high up on the agenda. But maybe what the government might decide to do, if this speculation is true, is they will just move the defined contribution levels to a flat rate of 30% in terms of tax relief. Now, this would set a two-track pension system, where if you're working for public sector and getting, what's quite generous, really, then you'll be getting a different tax rate than you would be if you're in defined contribution. And if you were a low rate taxpayer in the public sector and you were getting 20, whereas your counterparts working in the commercial company next door were getting 30%, that would also be annoying as well. And I'm sure the unions would make something of that. So this is not going to be an easy decision for Labour and how they're going to do this. They don't want to go to war either way with the public sector pensions at this point. But we do have a £21 billion black hole, and the pension relief last year cost the economy, £47.7 billion. That's a lot of money, that. And actually that went up by 1.1 billion from the year before. So this is increasing. And you can imagine why that's gone up as well, because the level at which you start paying higher rates of tax is pretty much static, whereas wages obviously are going up with inflation. Therefore, more people are going into that tax band. Okay. So I'm not sure where I'm sat on this at this moment. I've only just kind of picked up the notification on my phone and had a little read through it. I'm not sure where I sit on it, because I do like the idea of base rate taxpayers being able to get an extra 10%. That's fantastic news. The discouragement of people in higher rate tax band to invest more in the pensions wouldn't be a good thing. But I'm still having a good think about it, tuning over my mind as to whether I think it's a good or a bad thing. Any comments that you might want to add, I'll have a read through and have a think about. And also, if you are enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe, because I think it's about 75% of people who watch these videos haven't pressed that subscribe button. It really does help. I think I'm on about over 900 subscribers at the moment. So to get to that 1,000 mark would be amazing. And also click that like button, because it really does help spread the news of the channel as well. So thanks for listening, everyone. Cheers.